Check 1 2, test 1 2. All right, so it appears it's live. Let me just fix this here. Let's see if that's working. Crap, I missed the freaking trade. Participants. All right. All right. Well, as far as I know, I'm broadcasting right now. Of course, it would appear that I screwed up on the link, so I'm imagining people are probably struggling. I got two computers running here. Just a second. To get into the room, and that's okay. Beginners, first time. That's me. Let me just do a latency check here. Just one sec. Test one, two, three. All right, 3 seconds. Not bad. All right, let's get on with our day here. So, had this little level marked here on the nat gas. Of course, it did give a little bounce, but it's not really a great level, overnight level. Not really too exciting. And of course, another level up here, but haven't gotten back up there, so not overly excited about that. S&P is looking like it's pushing a little bit lower. Wow. Test one, two. All right, so I'm not exactly sure what just happened, but latency jumped to 30 seconds lag. Let's see if I can figure this out. Advanced. God, I should be trading. I should not be spending time on this. Done. As far as I know, it's set up correctly, so it is what it is. I'm gonna get back to work. All right, so what are we looking at here? S&P looks like it's pushing a little bit lower. Still in an uptrend, obviously, on the high time frames. But currently, it's holding down near the lows. Gold, I was looking at that earlier off the open. Looks like it had a nice rally. It's pushing strong. I don't see any openings. There's nothing here right now on gold. Gold is just gold. It's rallying because US dollar is falling. Copper. Wow. So the copper open drove right through those zones, right through the sell zones. Let's quickly take a look at economic reports. Everything came out. So there we go. So CPI came out. Inflation's up. Inflation's up only slightly. Continuing jobless claims higher than expected and higher than last week. So more people on unemployment than expected. Oh, initial jobless claims. Wow. Way higher than expected. Looks like everything's rolling back over right before Christmas. I would not expect that. I would have expected more people working, not less. So that means that this and this now become irrelevant. These numbers are driving, why is copper going up? Because of the hedge against the dollar going down, obviously. So I would expect the S&P to sell off pretty seriously today. How can we get in that? Let's take a look at this chart here. God, it looks like it's setting up right now, but S&P can be very tricky. Down below, pivot low right there. I'll wait for the retest. Oil is carrying on. It's gone through its resistance point here. It's at the high level of the channel here, which is what's kind of gotten me hesitating about a long on oil. A lot of times you'll buy at this high and then it just gives you everything it needs and then it fakes out and stops you out. But with the drop in the US dollar right now, it's kind of um, just working as a inverse commodities inverse move, a typical inverse move to the price of currency. Okay, what else are we looking at here? Nat gas. Natural gas had a nice bounce off that level. This is when I was trying to get everything set up. That buy level right there. So it's a missed trade. That's okay. I need to put an alert on here for this sell level, which is a low volume level, unfortunately, but let's keep that handy. Euro dollar had a nice move off of that pullback on that 5 minute right there. Really nice move right there. It's coming into the top end of that range here. This is I thought it was on a 60 minute for you. I'm trending in this range, so it's getting near that highs. Not interested in buying it, especially after a couple extended candles like that coming into the highs. So that's not of interest to me at the moment. I did take the CAD this morning, although I didn't realize it was news on the euro. It was the was it interest rates on euro came out. What's that number called? It wasn't even on my regular page. I had to go to Forex Factory to find it. It was the main refinance rate. It came out at 0% in Europe. And that's what fueled the drop in the US dollar and the rally in the other currencies, 4:45 a.m. And that's why they were running. I had no idea. I would have tried to hold that longer. But I don't generally look at currencies, just kind of looking for opportunities. So that one rallied quite nicely. Got a very small piece of it. So really the only thing that's potential here is nat gas. This one's building up a level like it's going to do something, but up or down, don't know for sure. I'd be hesitant to thinking going long oil coming into winter with a rising unemployment number, rising jobless claims. I would just, statistically, that's just a mistake. But again, it's a hedge against the dollar, so there's a little bit of one way and the other way. Copper, knee-jerk reaction. Copper should not be going up other than the hedge against the dollar once again, except for the fact that, if we're having rising unemployment, typically that means less factories working, less people buying stuff. That's not good for industrial metals, less people buying houses. Gold as a hedge should technically be going up, but it hasn't been working as a hedge very well. Most everybody's been looking at cryptocurrencies lately, it seems, which really have no intrinsic value other than what somebody else decides it's worth. And digital currency, it's not very useful. But then again, how useful is gold nowadays? Nobody stamps them into coins and trades them for food. So gold is doing what gold is doing. And the S&P, it actually dropped and it did hold that drop. So I expect the S&P is going to want to go lower today, which now puts me at kind of a stalemate here. So we'll keep an eye on our nat gas. It's the only one that's showing any kind of love. We're looking right here. We can see it's coming into some moving averages. It's the 8 and the 21 moving average, EMA, and the 50 SMA. And they're obviously going to hold it down for this reason. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. Take a look at the 15. Confluencing. Now the 15's not crossed yet, but it's moving in towards a crossover. And right now price is pinched between the 50 and the 8 on that 15 moving average on that 15-minute chart. So we're kind of pinched between those two and waiting for one of them to break. I still like the idea of selling up here better, as this is the beginning of the trend reversal. Just like this was the trend reversal down here, but missed that one. Not even sure if this thing is still working correctly. It's just, I don't know what happened. The latency just changed from 3 seconds to 30 seconds. Very, very strange. I'll have to figure this out. New to the software. All right. So nothing much there. Oil once again pulling back. Again, remember it is at that pivot high. Now it's forming a basing candle here. We've got 11 minutes left on this hourly. Throw the hourly up there for you. I got a bunch of screens running here. So there's 11 minutes left on that hourly. I think it's going to pull back. I guess it really comes down to what the currency's doing if it wants to hedge against currencies. But yeah, it doesn't make sense for oil to rally on bad employment news. 28. Sorry, I'm just looking at some other screens here. I can't show them all up here, unfortunately. 28 to 20. Just trying to analyze some reward to risk. Wondering if it would be worth setting up a short. 10. Sure looks like it should. But then again, people can be crazy. The trend is still up, and to set up a short now would be counter trend to basically every chart. But it's extended. News came out, which can have major effects or zero effects. It's a funny thing. I guess people are expecting, well, let's see, that wouldn't affect oil. Yeah. Just gonna watch this for a minute here as I try and figure out whether or not I want to take this trade. This is called watching the price action, watching how it's reading, how it's moving. Kind of get the feel for how it's breathing, you know. Just kind of looking at that right there. It's almost setting up like an inverse head and shoulders kind of thing. It's coming off that 15 moving average. I'll show you. It's coming off that 15.8 moving average. Failed to make a new high. It's giving a second attempt. Pulled back, giving a second attempt. God, I think it's going to fail. Yeah. I'm taking it short. Set a real stop on here. really close. There's no point in risking more than we need to. Let's look at these targets. It's a counter trend trade. Again, always lower probability with counter trend. I'm kind of anticipating this reversal here. All right, so let's let that one do its thing. Let's take a look at nat gas. Nat gas still holding on these moving averages. Has not yet reached my alert. So nat gas is just there, doing nothing. Check, check, 1, 2. Why is this called that? Trying to figure it. Set off the channel. Nat gas is coming back down. There's nothing to stop it. Let's take a look at oil. Do I want to go two at once? Basically a proxy of each other, so maybe I'll just leave the oil trade on so I'm not doubling down on the same thing. All right, so it's doing what it's doing. The S&P is probably dropping, yeah. Coming into 5:53, oil's going to open up in 7 minutes. Never a good time to be in an oil trade prior to the open. It's basically a gamble, 50-50. It's either going to work or not work. If we go down to the 1 minute here, you can see it's building up the momentum on the downside. It's moving averages confluencing or holding. That's what we were looking for. Of course, you're expecting a much bigger move than what's happening here. It's just the beginning. 6 minutes till the open. Go to a 5 minute. Yeah, see, there's your support line right there, your 50. And so this trade may end up getting closed out early just because of the open. I don't like holding past open because volatility swings usually just move either way. It doesn't matter what direction it ultimately wants to move. It'll push the opposite direction first. So I might be closing this one early. Let's go to a 10 minute here. Looks like it's setting up a double top, in which case it's got to break that 21 moving average there. Let's go to 15 here. 15 is good. We broke past that 8. That means we can get down to 406. That's 100 and 300 and was it $80 or something like that if we can get down there. But that 5 minute 50 moving average is going to be the kicker, and 5 minutes till open. That's where the challenge is going to come in. 30-minute chart, 8 moving average. Geez, we got all kinds of things. This is the thing about counter trend trading. You're really trying to swim up a stream. You're fighting the current. You're trying to snowboard uphill. That's a problem with counter trend trading. So we got to break through all these obstacles. We got an 8 moving average here on the 30 minute. 15 minute, we're still fighting with that 8 moving average. 5 minute, we got the 50 moving average. All these things are getting in the way of this trade. We've got 140 in profit, 160. Doesn't mean anything until it's in the bank. We're at 1-to-1, roughly. Reward risk. Can I do that on here? Let me just take a peek here. Oops. No, it's not going to work. Oh, it's not even the right color. So I just totally rebuilt all my charts and everything for this. I don't know if there is a white one. Oh, there we go. For this live stream on a different computer, where I could manage more efficiently. 4 minutes till the open. And so right there, what are we at? 20 to 1. We're currently at 10, just past 1 to 1. But we broke below that 50. We need this candle to close below this 50. 2 minutes left. Looks like it's going to work out. 12 to 1, 12 to 9. Reward to risk here. All right, let's just continue this on. 240 profit. Raise down a little bit. Come on, keep pushing. 3 minutes till the open. Jeez. Hate trading near the open. Not having open trades near the open, I should say. We're going to close this down early. Let's hope we get a volatility push right before the open starts. 3 minutes. I got my button, my finger on the flatten all button, which means close all positions, just in case this thing decides to. There's that volatility push. Didn't go far enough. Damn it. All right, got it. First target. There we go. 150 off on the first target. Get a second push. Come on. Push, push, push. Get ready to flatten. 2 minutes to go. Come on. There it is. Volatility push. And I'm out. All right. So that was what? 10 minutes. There's the push that would have hit the target. That's okay. We got out before the open. 330 in profit. Oh, there's my other trade now. All right, good. Let's get rid of that. All right. So, do I want to take this trade? This one's really ugly. The volume was incredibly low. Oil's going to open up here any minute. Let's keep an eye on oil for a bit. There's the bounce right prior to the open. And this is almost 100% you're going to expect this is going to happen. So getting out where I got it wasn't a bad thing. This could, in the next 20 seconds, reverse that entire move in a heartbeat. And so, that was the safe play. And that's kind of how I trade it safe. Lots of times I try and trade it safe. So two so far down. We've got 330 on oil and a measly 95 on CAD. Brings up to 425. So far it's been about an hour. 30 minutes. Oil open. What's oil gonna do? Let's go back to nat gas. Oil's opening. Nat gas never made it to the zone. That sell zone right there. This looks empty. All right. Is there anybody even in here yet? I really kind of screwed up with that link. I'm streaming on an old key. At least maybe the recording will be there for anybody that wants to watch it. If it actually is recording, I don't even know. Looks like somebody gave me a thumbs up. I don't see anybody in the participation room. Let's take a look. How do I see that? Nope. Participants. Yeah. Still new to the software. I've got very little time in my day with rebuilding this duplex I bought and stuff. So not spending a lot of time on stuff I should be probably. Here we go. And there you go. And this is exactly why you be very careful around the open, because that 330 bucks would have gone down to about 50 bucks, right? Um, I do get out early. I definitely do. Definitely could hold trades longer, but if I can make over 315 minutes or 10 minutes and then locking in, it's hard to say no to that. Okay, let's continue. Again, this doesn't change my opinion on oil. I do believe it should go lower. I believe that there is an opportunity. If I can draw this on here, pick a screen, any screen, right here, right there, which it's touched. But that being said, um, we've had a pretty deep pullback and it's kind of wound up if it wants to go higher now. So I'm not willing to take the lower risk trade or the higher risk trade. Oh, there we go. Oops. So now we're looking again at natural gas, and natural gas here came up and it touched that level, which again, it's just basically a proxy to oil. So it doesn't look fantastic. It's not a great level, not a high volume level, that's for sure. But we are coming into a high volume push in natural gas. So you got to be aware of that. When the market opens up and picks a direction, sometimes it runs in that direction for a while. It may turn in an hour, but an hour from now, it's well after past the stop out. It may get up to this original level up here. Now, that being said, maybe it holds. It's still a valid level, just not high quality. So if this is pushing deep in here, I'm going to assume that oil's probably blasting through. It's kind of holding on that level a little bit. All right. I see nothing, no resistance, no sellers right yet. Nothing. And look at that momentum. Watch this chart pattern always, guys, always. You see that formation, that big breakout, that consolidation, 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 then it starts making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and it's building momentum. And when it does that prior to a level, it usually means it's going to plow through that level. So always watch for that. Like we said, low quality levels. Oil. Okay. Oil's going to plow through too, probably. Euro dollar. Euro's just crushing it here. They're expecting a Brexit in 4 days. Pretty exciting. Look at that. Right back in that zone. Right back in that, sorry. That the range of moving averages. This is my kind of ideal buy area for trending markets. Two, three. Let's give it a little bit of time. CAD's giving back some of its rally. But back the S&P still dropping. Damn, I knew I should have taken that short. Sometimes you just got to trust the trend. You know, the S&P, you're always expecting it to go higher, but sometimes you just got to trust that trend. It does reverse, even on the index, it does reverse, and it won't come back up to make, here, let me show you. I'm looking at the wrong charts for you. It won't come back up and hit that zone. It just won't make it back up there. That sell zone there, it's just, it wouldn't get there. And it's a low volume zone anyway, but moving averages, man, they're powerful. They are powerful, especially when trends begin. You can get that trend reversal. If you can catch that first bounce, that's the best one. So trend reversal, the first bounce, second first, boom, boom, dropped. Momentum starts to go and algorithms kick in. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I've talked about algorithms many times. Those algos, high frequency trading algos, boom, they kick in and they just drive the market. They don't care if it's going up or down. They just push it. As long as they can get it momentum built in one side, that makes them able to capitalize on the move and take profits. Now, gold is starting to look real good. What do we get up to? Yeah, that would make sense. I didn't notice that zone before. Little sell zone right there. Never quite got there, but that's a good zone. Okay, gold is starting to make some sense here. Um, this is going to become a valid area on gold right here. Oops. Wow. So what's happening right now with the US dollar? Must be charging. Yeah, see, I didn't like that on that second push. US dollar must be charging up right now, which is going to be bad for the other currencies, but you should not be seeing oil break up like this on that. Wow, look at that. And this is just it. The correlations in these markets are going wonky. Look at that build momentum. Beautiful, beautiful setup right off the chart. All right. So there is no setup here anymore. Gold, that little tiny level, which did basically a little hiccup, and that's all it did. Just a tiny little obstacle before it plowed higher. It's a good thing didn't hold it. I would have been stopped out. Probably with a slippage when it pushes that hard. Gold's going higher. So when markets get into a position like this, it's kind of not much to do. You can take a gamble and buy, on a pullback to a moving average, but there's nothing to say it's going to be this moving average. Sorry, I'm showing you the wrong chart here. Uh, there's nothing to say it's going to be this moving average that holds in a 1 minute, or will it be the 5 minute if it comes back there, or will it be the 15 if it comes back there? All we know is that when markets stretch from moving averages too far, they typically correct. It's called the elastic band theory. So stretch out an elastic band, the further you stretch it, the harder the snapback. And you've seen that perfectly on the euro. As it stretched away, it snapped back. Stretched away, it snapped back again. Stretched away again. This time it snapped and it went right through. And that's typical market movement. That's price action. So seeing that happen, very common. This gold stretched away and now it's snapping back as well. There's really nothing happening. Except for the S&P is just chopping its way down. So I find these hard to get into. I always think they're too far. All right, which means we're getting ready here to start on looking at some options markets. What did I just do? I'm like half not paying attention. Show extended hours. There we go. Why is it not showing extended hours? Oh, looking at the S&P. Of course. All right, everything's selling off as expected. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, I'm just going to quickly scan through a list here of some equities that I have in a watch list, looking for opportunity setups. I got my weekly, a very important chart. I got my daily, my most important chart. I got my hourly. Sometimes I bounce this between hourly and 30 minutes. Because on Thinkorswim, the hourly candle starts on the hour, and the market technically doesn't open up till 30 minutes past. So it kind of gives it kind of an inaccurate assessment of true open hour outcry hours of operation here. So sometimes on a 30-minute, you'll get the new candle at the half hour, which is better. And then, of course, I got the 15, which in terms of pre-market, it just tells me where the market is opening up. Let's scan through these really quick. So first thing I notice is tech stocks are down. Yeah. Wow. Bubba set up a short. So now what I have here for those of you that care, I keep a notebook in front of me at all times. And I add to my list of today's Friday or Thursday? What day is today? To my list of stocks. What day is it? Thursday. Jeez. If I have long setups or I have short setups. So, I'm not saying I'm going to put a trade on this thing right away, obviously, but I do keep an eye on them. All right. Wow, look at the upturn on that. So TSM, although it's pulling back, Taiwan Semiconductors is pulling back, is in a phenomenal uptrend. And that for me equals opportunity for long setup. Now take a look at that between Bubba and Taiwan Semiconductors. Uptrend, strong, broke away, stretched away from the moving averages too far, and now is pulling back. What I would like to see, I mean, I can show you this way. Let's see if I can do this. Just one sec. See if I can do this. Okay. So what I would like to see is this. If I can get this here. Nope. It's not going to work. It's on the wrong screen. All right, sorry. Just working through some technical difficulties. Once again, I am nope, not that. I am working through the bugs on a first time attempt here. Trying to set this up so that I can let's get this up here. There we go. Let's move this over here. So that I can work, this out to the best of my ability here for you guys. All right, this is what I want to see. Gosh, can't even see the color on that thing. Color, green. There we go. I want to see this. I want to see that pullback, and I want to see this uppercut. That's called the uppercut. Now, while that's happening, what you'll see happen over here is this will go low below, and then it'll start chopping back up and above around these moving averages. And the best setup is always once you get a break up above that moving average and then getting in like right there. That's if you correlate the two of them together, that's what it looks like. And that right there would be somewhere in right here. So I would like to see a deeper pullback than that, obviously, but that's kind of what I would be looking for, ideally. So I'll put this on a watch list, TSM. That was the whole point of that whole conversation. Let's quickly scan through the futures. Okay, so got that pullback in gold. Got a bit of a bounce off those moving averages. The 5-minute. It never made it back to that sell area. Unfortunately. Doesn't look like it's going to either. Okay, that's all right. Let's take a quick look at copper. Copper's just stretched. I have no need for copper. Oil. Yeah, oil. I don't understand why oil's where it is right now. But on the 1-minute chart, it has a setup. A long setup right there. 36 to 30, 45. It's 10 ticks risk. 10 ticks reward potential. 15 or higher. But on a 5-minute, it's nowhere near the moving averages yet. Now, what you'll happen is you'll have it come under the influence of a moving average. So as this moving average is pushing still, not touching, but it's reacting off of that moving average. On the 15 minute, it's nowhere's near. And also the fact that it pierced the 8 and the 20 just weakens this area, makes it less, likely it'll be reinforced. A strong move back up could have reactivated them, but currently it's just sleeping. 5 minute as well. So I have no interest rate there. I have no interest. So that level worked out really well on nat gas. This little sell area here, which was again counter trend, no effect, zero. We're getting up to that major area up here. Haven't got there yet. Let's take a peek on oil. Yeah, oil is like, it's way, way up there. Take a look if there's a level on oil. So let's put this on a 15 minute. We've broken through this area here. Some momentum up there. Gone back, so we need to analyze. Whoops. Let's do this on this one here, and now copy over to yours. So we need to analyze this level. Wrong icon. There we go. There we go. So this right here. So actually, the level is right there. That's right where it went. But that level's been hit already. So that is not a fresh level. Some of those orders have been used up, and that's okay. All right. I'm not going to take it on a second hit. What is stretch day? Wow. All right. So that's it for oil. It is what it is. Let's leave that. So I don't know if anybody's watching this or not. I know I kind of screwed up on the link, and it's actually playing right now on the wrong key. But this live stream here is for educational purposes only. In this live stream, I'm going to be analyzing live stocks and options futures markets for educational purposes. And though I will be setting up trade examples and discussing them in the live stream video, this the trades are for educational purposes to create learning environment. And all trading has risk, of course. Make sure you understand those risks before entering a trade. Just thought I'd share that with y'all. There we go. Good. Okay. So oil, again, I don't see anything on oil. Oil's levels already been, identified and hit now twice. Natural gas, man, that was a good demand level push. I was not expecting it off that zone, but got a good move right there. And it's going. It's getting close to that sell zone. Over here, we have European, the European dollar, which had a nice strong correction. Now, there's a mental note here. We're wondering, whoops, how did that happen? Euro USD. Let's change that back. I'm not doing a Forex class here. Good. All right, so why did it turn? And why did it turn where it turned? This is why. So that trend line is still active, and you got to be aware of that stuff. People who say trend lines don't work, moving averages don't work, they're full of crap. They're full of crap. Everything works some of the time. Sometimes zones work, sometimes moving averages work, sometimes trend line work. You got to be willing to take the risk to find out if it's going to work. And that's going to depend on your plan, of course, but this worked today for a very, very, very nice move. Nothing wrong with that. Here, If we go on a 5 minute, on the 5 minute, here, the moving average worked. We came right into that range of moving averages, gave a nice confirmation entry, and it worked very nicely. So that worked. Here, the zone, well, it didn't quite work. Maybe on a confirmation order it would have worked. No, you would have been triggered confirmation right here and it would have failed. But zones do work as well in the right context, which I don't have an alert on that one. So let me fix this real quick. There. Everything works some of the time. And this is just one of those things that works some of the time. Today was a trend line and the moving average bounce right in that range. It's 5 minute. Good. Canadian dollar. Yeah. Generally, the Canadian dollar is just such a slow mover. That's why I was not expecting. I got 3-1 on this one, and I was just not expecting this to happen. Of course, was not paying attention to the Forex news, and that's just because it's me. Okay, so enough with that. Move back to these markets here. Um, Today's Friday, so I'm not going to initiate any new debit trades in regards to options, but I would be open to considering a credit trade. Walmart below the 21 moving average on a daily chart. I think we might be moving into a correction here. Johnson and Johnson, JP Morgan. Can't believe that those banks have gone up as high as they have. It's shocking. Must be all the free money. SPY still above the moving averages. Everything's still trending. You know, it's pulling back, sure. Maybe we're going to have a sell-off today. It's Friday. Sure. Which reminds me, close down a couple of these positions. Just double check this. 3, that's okay. Let's click. Strange. Oh, wrong one. There we go. All right, so I've got a couple computers running with different accounts running on them. I've got one I've got to close. Okay, so PY, yeah, it's going down a little bit, but look at the trend. You know, we could use a few days of correction. We could use a sell-off. Probably gap up on Monday for all we know. So strong. Dr. Gamble. Now this one looks like it's rolling over. Look at that weekly chart. And a close like this on a Friday, on a weekly, that does not bode well for the stock. Needs a rally today, but look at this chart. You know, the one thing I don't like about it is you can see how it had that big sell-off, high volume sell-off right there. Pushed up, beautiful. Then it failed under the moving averages and it's held. It's held, like kind of rounded with like 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish days right here. And now it's looking like it's going to correct those days, but we have this support area right here. And that, my friends, is going to be an obstacle. Yeah. So I'm going to write PG down as a short setup, but just not yet. MasterCard. It's just chopping in its range. You know, whenever it holds in a range like this, the breakout usually leads to something special, but it may fake out one way and then go the other direction. That happens, of course. I'm sure if you've ever traded, you'd know this. So, watching this, I'm going to let the market show me what it's going to do. If it decides to do something like this, shot up, breaks out, pulls back, and then this, that then becomes the buying opportunity, especially if it gets back above here, buying opportunity, because that's usually where it'll take off. Only time will tell. United Healthcare, United Health Group. See, it's a nice pattern right there. Broke down below the moving averages, pushed back up. Don't like that candle. Then it held on the moving averages, pushed yesterday, but then it sold off, or sorry, it pushed up day before and then it sold off yesterday. If this candle right here, if this candle right here was a white candle, I'd be all over this thing. If it opened up higher today, I'd be wanting to buy it because that is a pattern setup for another rally. But it's not what's happening. That being said, UNH will deserve another look later. Home Depot. Home Depot. God, the amount of money I spend at this place. Who would have thought it would be going down? Whoops, alarm's going off. Market's going to open. 2 minutes. Home Depot. Support area right there. Downtrend. Let's get rid of these old lines. It's looking weak. Weekly's low. Weekly's low. Everything's low. Home Depot. Man, when Home Depot starts selling off, you know there's problems. We'll come back around to that one. Disney. God, look at that chart. My goodness. Why is Disney going up? Parks are closing down, you know. They're going up because they have streaming. They've diversified. Movies, streaming, smart company. They got fingers in lots of pockets. So they're okay. Pull back on Disney, setting up for a long. Verizon. Long setup all day long. Look at that. It's ideal. There's that pullback, that nice first push up, the pullback, and then the break above. I mean, unfortunately, this was a gap up, but it was a buy everywhere in here. And now it's setting up again potentially. All right, the market's open. 1 minute. Let's take a quick peek at the S&P and the open. Kind of stalled out on the S&P as expected. It would near the open. Everybody's going to kind of figure out what should we do. Sitting on the daily chart here. Gonna pull a daily up here. Comedy. Nope, that was the wrong button. Sorry about that. So that screwed up my daily chart. That's right. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll fix it later. The daily chart, using this software CR charts, if you want to get the full day, you got to actually set it to, was it 1,440 minutes? Something to that matter. All right, so gold, what are you doing? Well, holding on a 15. So if you take a look at the 15-minute, pulled back and it looks like it's holding. There's no reward to risk in this trade anymore. On the 5 minutes, holding on the 21. On the 15, holding on the 8. Oops, sorry. That's different. Why does that not look like the same as my chart? Continuous volume. Let's recalculate the chart settings. Get rid of continuous volume. That's why it looks different on my other page. No, it's not it either. Chart settings. So I moved the software over to my other computer here, and it seriously, everything needed recalculated. I see what's going on here. There we go. That was on the wrong settings. All right. And I had to rebuild the entire charting package from scratch. If you've ever used Sierra charts, that means you need to go in and can I do it on this one? I can't. I have to be on the main window. reset every color of everything, every candle, every line. Yeah, it's amazing the amount of work. All right, taking a 1 minute break here. All right, I'm back. All right, so gold's pushing. Of course, it did not, again, meet the risk to reward requirements. Let's check my latency again. So check, check, 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Oh, I see. Okay. Such a delay. I gotta fix this. All right. Okay, so market's open. Let's take a peek here. So the S&P's come back into moving averages and has, just shake this for a second. Looks good. And it's selling off. So we're going lower. Give me a second here, folks. I need to close something down that I'm not completely satisfied with. Maybe I'll give it a little longer. I'll pull it up. Here we go. Whoa, geez. Just a second here. Gotta watch this. Yikes, look at that. Wow. Gold's not spiking off of that. Oil's kind of, everybody's like, whoa, paying attention to the S&P, copper, oil. So oil still held at that level. Interesting. It's gonna break by the looks of it. All right, natural gas, still just hesitating. Euro, CAD, not bothering with those. Basically everything's happening on gold and on the S&P. There's that morning volatility, that whipsaw one way then the other way. Is there a trade set up here? No. There was one. Where is it? Gold's coming up into that level again. This is a counter trend setup again, not incredibly interested in it, although that is the open. Wow. It's pushing pretty hard. And now it stopped. That's going to fail. Oh, wait. Got to get a second push. Just give it a second. Might be looking for a short setup here. The reward to risk is basically gone. But maybe for a one-to-one, let's take a look at the risk. 50, 4 to 50, you got a 140 in risk. It's $300 on 2 contracts. Yeah, you got to wait for that second push, which it's not going to give. It's going to plow. All right, good. See, that's where patience pays off. Now we got a better reward to risk. It's pulling back, resting a bit. They're winding up to decide whether or not they're going to push through or not. Some people are selling shorter, taking profit because it's moving down a little. Yeah, the power's to the upside. This is that battle that goes on. If you look at it on a 1 minute chart, you can see there's a fight going on between buyers and sellers right now. They may just wind back down, pull back to get that push up, probably back to this 84.8 area here. So you got to be willing to risk 51.5, $100 to make potentially 8, 150 per contract. Yeah, I think I'll sit on the sidelines. There it is. 5 minute chart's got a minute and 30 seconds left to go. So 30 seconds on this 1 minute, then we come into the 1 minute candle prior to the roll on the 5 minute. And that'll also be a 10-minute candle roll as well. So it's just not worth the risk. Whenever trading, obviously, if you're always balancing risk versus reward, probability of analysis, right? And understand that even though if you buy or sell anywhere on the chart, it's always 50-50. But if price moves, the further price moves from your entry, the lower the probability becomes. So if you sold short here, the lower it goes, the lower the probability it's going to go further because the buyers are more inclined to buy down here than they would be to buy up here. And so it's really a game you really got to be careful playing because there's two sides to every coin, right? Half the people are buying, half the people are selling, but who's got the more money? So there we go. Small little pullback, just enough to reach that moving average on a 1 minute and get some orders in and push it higher. And that's all it was. So that little supply level, which was a counter trend setup, failed against the 21 EMA on a 5 minute chart. The orders are stacked in the favor of the buyers. Simple as that. Good. Good little lesson. All right. S&P. Wow, look at that. Boom, big sell-off and reverse. That's so tricky, this S&P. So that's okay. So I'm going to hold my options trades a little bit longer. It's Friday. First 15 minutes of the day, I pretty much don't want to do anything. But I may do some scanning for opportunities. Gold is probably pushing through. Yeah, gold's pushing. Copper held on that 5 minute. That was a nice hold. Yeah, there was a nice little setup there. Now, I'm not really interested in this right now, but I would like to see it break lower, below this low. Then I'll become interested. In fact, I'd like to see it come into this zone, break lower, come into that zone, and then push back up. Then I'll become interested. And so I'm waiting for that to happen. Oil's doing what oil's doing. So that level that held, beautiful level, but it was already hit. Hit again, and granted, it did leave a 1-to-1 on there, but that's it. Push through. Market's going higher. Just one sec. All right, we have our guest star here. What's your name?
Fina.
Good morning. morning, Fina. All right, so um, should be doing some option stuff right now. Again, it's not a super big rush. My scanner's not working right now for some reason. Let's go back to my watch list. Here we go. All right, so Verizon, Bank of America. Well, Bank of America, nice little long setup. I'm going to put down long side. BAC. Now, see what I like about Bank of America. I've had this long already. It's broken through its resistance points here. Broke through again. It's holding on that 8 moving average on the weekly. Back inside of that range of moving averages here. My 21, my 8, my 15 kind of middle line. But looking at the hourly, look at that. That chart's screaming it's going to go down. So we may get a pullback down to 28-ish, maybe a 50-cent pullback somewhere down here. And then once it gets there, who knows what it's going to do, but it's pushing up now. But this push up right now, a lot of times these pushes lead to sell-offs. So although I wouldn't take a short for that 50 cents, I wouldn't be interested in shorting it. In fact, I'd be more interested in buying it, but I'll be more interested in buying it lower. So I'll put that one, put a star beside it. And on Monday or Tuesday, I'll check that out. Okay, let's look at the next one, PayPal. PayPal, very much the same thing, except it's already had its move down, just the same as the Bank of America, except Bank of America is right over here. It started off, it was pushing up, and then we'll see if it does that. And PayPal's sitting right on top of that 21 moving average. Now, although it's on that 21 moving average, and that, in my opinion, would be a good buying area, take a look what happened over here last time it was there. I'll wait for this, or better yet, that day. I want to see price. I'm okay with taking that risk. I just want to see that there's going to be some reaction to it. And it is reacting technically. Let me enlarge this. See this whole chart. Here we go. It is reacting. There is a push up. It's a push up, but it's below. If I was to, let's see if I can do this, turn this into a lesson. Can I get back far enough? If I put a vertical line or a rectangle right here. Come on. I use so many different charting packages. I forget how they move. All right. One, you got to hold the button and drag. The other one, you got to click and drag right there. Take a look at this. So this right here is this right here. And you can see how it got back. It held on that 21, then it consolidated for a bit, and then it started rallying. That rally right here didn't occur till this day. This day here, or even right here in here, if this was a white candle, would have been the buying opportunity. But better yet, right here, boom, white, white, white. These candles are telling you what it's going to do next. It's back up above the moving averages. The moving averages are starting to affect price, and that was the end result of that. So although it looks like a buy right now, sure, and it may be a buy, and there's nothing wrong. It's just telling you on one chart it's a buy, the other ones it's telling you it's a sell. And that conflicting information is what gets most people stuck into trades where they see it bounce and then all of a sudden it turns around and at the end of the day they're lower than their entry and the trade is failing and they're like wondering why. They got tricked again. Well, they didn't get fooled, they weren't patient enough to wait for the proper signal to occur. You know, the difference between entering it, see right here. Difference between entering it down here and entering it up here is a bit of money for sure. But this one had a much higher probability of working than this one, which could have done a lot of different things. So that's kind of how I look at it. Let's remove this right there. Go back to where we were. This is not a buy setup by any sense of the word. I want this right here. I want this picture. Boom, boom. Get me back above on an hourly. Show me that there's some support on those moving averages and then carry it higher. That takes time, patience, and a lot of times, hey, a lot of times just got to kind of scan and scan and scan until you find setups. No, that's not breakfast food, silly. But nice eyeballs on you. Couldn't find any cereal this morning. All right, so this setup right here, Pfizer. Crazy. I'm not even going to talk about Pfizer. Okay, Comcast. Again, back on the moving averages, but look at that candle. Who wants to buy on that candle? That candle could close here, it could close down here, and then it might go down 3 more days. Who knows? But this right now has a lower high, and that cannot be ignored. So that lower high tells me that there's some trouble with Pfizer. My current trend, which was an uptrend, is broken. Or not Pfizer, sorry, Comcast, is broken. And so what I call this a two-leg retracement, which we're currently in. It hasn't broken below this low, so I'll get rid of this moving average, this line here. It needs to break below this low to be a full, double leg retracement, which we haven't had yet. It may still hold, in which case it's simply a consolidation. The descending triangle probably end up something that matter a wedge. Um, but it's definitely not set up to buy yet. So lower risk. I mean, okay, so let's correct this. Um, Again, if you've watched any of my videos, you'd know that there is an aggressive entry and there's a conservative entry. And I got tons of videos, and all of them towards the end I go over charts and I give chart picks of the day, and I go through some examples on those. In all those videos, there's like, I don't know, 30 or 60 videos or something. You want to go out? Okay, here you go, kiddo. See you later. Close the door, love. And I talk about the aggressive and conservative entry. An aggressive entry right there, if it comes down at moving average, aggressive entry. And I always say, if taking an aggressive entry, it's better to do it with a partial position. And also, only if things are confluencing with what your expectations are for the indexes themselves. So this is not yet set for an aggressive entry, but could be, except for the lower high problem, because that creates potential for a double top. And so that reduces the odds of success for this particular setup. All right, so let's quickly take a look again at index is still running. Look at that. So, looking at a 5-minute chart, there's zero setup. You got a 50 moving average. First time it came up to it, look at the pushback, and then the second time it drove through. It wound up, got more buyers, and pushed through. Let's take a look at a 15-minute. 15-minute broke through those moving averages, coming up to 50. And then look at the 1 minute. 1 minute, just a nice pullback to a moving average, low risk entry, a confirmation on a candle, on a break above the prior candle. And, on that right there, 53 to 60, 61, 8-point rally. And, 8 points is $400 on a single contract. It's an $800 move on two contracts. So, 1 minute charts, people say, don't trade off them. But you know what? Sometimes in the right conditions, they can be very useful. Gold's pushing higher, coming back up to that trend line, along with a 60-minute 50 moving average. So there's going to be some obstacles up ahead on gold. Let's take a look at copper. Held on that 8 really nicely. Oil. Jeez. It's doing exactly what I would expect it to not do. Especially after today's numbers. Oil inventory comes out today at 7:30 Pacific. That 1 minute chart once again, right? Got to be aware of that 1 minute chart. Look at that. Don't generally trade off the 1 minute chart, but look at that. Just riding that moving average up perfectly. Nat gas still hasn't got back to that level. Let's take a look at the euro, which, wow, was not expecting that. So failed off that first test of the moving average of the trend line, and now is rallying. Second push. Way to go, euro. So the US dollar must be collapsing. What is the euro US dollar right now? You won't be able to see it on your screen, but I'll let you know. Wow, 127 to the CAD. That is shocking. Hmm. Okay. 425, so up 425 for the day. Let's pull this back up. All right. CAD going to be doing the same. Was not expecting that. That's okay. Let's go back to options. And basically just chart reading right now. Um, look at Coke. Wow, see, that's, okay, go right there. See, that's nice right there. Look at that. That's nice. That's a setup I want. This is a Friday, and I don't generally buy on Friday, but I'm buying Coke. All right, so what are we doing here? Options time. Let's take me to options tab. KO. Now you're not seeing any of this. I'm doing this on my, I'm not about advertising my account numbers, so no offense. It's just going to be audio for the next bit here. So I'm looking at buying Coca-Cola long calls right now. I'm looking at the May 21st, 2021 at the money call option, which is going to be the 55 for me, which has a delta of 56 deltas. And that's a 5250. Both of them have very high open interest, 1700 and 1400. Both of them trade very tight. This list I have here is very, very tight spreads. And so whatever the choice is, it's not really that relevant. One's got a little higher delta is all. I'm going to go with the 5250 on this. So 5050, 250 delta, Coca-Cola, measure my risk here. So if you got 50 deltas, you know that you got, for every $1, you got $50 of risk for every contract. So if you got, say, $1 of risk, then you've got $50. So you can kind of, from there, really easy calculate how many contracts you want to take based on how much risk you're willing to accept. Do I have a window open? I do. I have to open a second window. Get rid of this stupid thing. Get rid of that. All right. So let's go. I want to set this up. Now remember, it trades in 5-cent increments, and a lot of times people go at the mid and they get filled with a, or they get in with a 338 or 368. When it trades in a 5-cent increment, that's not likely going to fill for you. Specify account. Which account am I going to take this in? Oh crap, this is the wrong account. I moved my accounts to different computers now, so. Okay, so let's set that up right there. So, wow, filled instantly. So I set that up to buy at 355. And I forgot to screen print it, dang it. Okay, just one sec. No, it's not. I did this on. All right. So filled price right there. I did not screen print that. That's a mistake on my part. Oops. I'm not organized this morning, clearly. Just hang tight. All right. Um, which one is this? Oh yeah, everything happens at once. What was the price I paid? 355. All right. So once again, just to repeat that really quick here, uh, Coke, May 21st, 2021, 5250 call option, long. And again, this is all for educational purposes. The reason I went with that option is because um, it's at the money. It's got a 50 delta, approximately 56.9 deltas, and that's kind of the number I look for. And the Coke setup, I really like the Coke setup. It's been consolidating for a very long time, a very long time. Kind of in this low, double leg pullback or retracement here. Then it kind of rallied out with high volume and a good strong push above average volume. Bit of a pullback. It's consolidating, and this is setting up for what I call the uppercut. So it's really looking like it's setting up, that moving averages are now active and affecting price, and this is typically where you get that shot up. So I know I got an alert that just went off on the other platform, but oh, what was that? Okay, I got to deal with the task at hand. Just one sec. 54.61 is going to be the first obvious resistance point, and that's just a pivot high. So that doesn't mean it's going to reverse there. It just means that that's going to be an obstacle. In terms of actual resistance, well, actually, that's actual resistance right there. Yeah, you know what? That is actual resistance right there, but that's okay. It's already been hit once. Yeah, 60. There's going to be our second point right there. So keep an eye on both of those numbers. We got a long ways to go before it gets there. Let's take a quick peek at this platform here, which I had alerts going off. Oh, this is an alert going off on the S&P. All right, there we go. You guys aren't seeing that. There we go. So I had an alert right here and triggered prior to this zone. Now, this is again an obstacle. I'm not necessarily interested in entering a short position here. I have these sell zones and buy zones on the chart because they fit a criteria that I look for. But the important thing to notice here is look at the volume. If I was to see chart values window right there. If we looked at the volume, you can see the volume here. Where is it? Is this not showing on this chart? No, it's not showing on this chart. Never mind. Just working on my main chart. Tools value window. There we go. Wrong one. So if we were looking at the volume in this area here, and the volume you're going to see right here. Okay, that's the volume right there, that line. Look at this. 200 contracts, 156 contracts, 42 contracts, 65 contracts in this area, very low volume zone. Now look over here, 6,586 contracts, 5,744, 1,000, 10,316, 3,100, and that candle's still open. So this is why I don't put a whole lot of power in that zone, just because of that reason. So it's there, but it's not like I'm betting my life that that zone's going to work. All right, good. Okay, where were we here? Gold. Oh, nice pullback on gold. So that trend line on gold. Now we talked about trend lines a bit earlier, remember? Let's go back. I had this trend line on gold and it looks like it's affecting price. You know, say it's a huge move. I'd say no. It's, what is that? Yeah, it's 30 ticks, but it's affecting price. We're seeing the same thing on the euro right here, the big move on euro before it broke. So gold having that same effect. Now this setup, wow, look at that on an hourly chart. I mean, this is going to be too much risk for a trade, but whoa, look at that zone right there. That is the money shot. That's a 30 tick zone, but maybe back it down to one contract for that level. I got to set an alert for that one. Just because the risk will be a little bit too high with two contracts for my taste anyways, but that's a good zone. All right, go back to 5 minute. All right. Gold's really pushing off of that moving average. Oil just crawling. It's now holding that 5 minute, 8 moving average, 80 MA. Sorry, that wasn't oil, that was copper. Oil's just rocketing. Wow, amazing. So you're watching the US dollar drop and oil spike. Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what should happen. Natural gas is just sideways. Euro and CAD obviously rallying and hedge against the moving dollar, the US dollar. Okay. Again, I don't trade futures a whole lot after that first couple trades in the morning. Usually get out and then um, just a second here. I got somebody asking me if I'm broadcasting live. And I am. I just got to figure out how to send it to somebody. Twitter. Let's see if I can share this. Okay, one sec. Sorry, folks, just one sec. Kind of bouncing around a little bit here. Share this. Nope, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is copy it. Copy link. All right, so ATVI comp. Just taking a look at some of the setups I've had here. FLIR. All right, let's go back to some options here. There we go. All right, so Coke. We're in Coke. Or I'm in Coke. I'm on Coke. Coca-Cola is an amazing company. It's been around forever. Don't drink the stuff, but I'm sure enough people do. They make a lot of money. Warren Buffett owns a chunk of Coca-Cola. Not that that means anything, but he does. Just trying to verify here. All right. Okay, technical difficulties, Netflix. See, Netflix again is and was. See, this is a good example. Was setting up for a long setup right there, and then it failed. It pushed below, but why? Because that's a perfect setup. Why did it fail right there? Well, pretty clear if you look closely. The 50 moving average is above the 20 and the 8. You got the 8 above the 21, but the 50 is above the 8 and the 21. So what it's telling us is, sure, it looks like it's wanting to go up, but technically it's still bearish. You need this thing to get back above that. And then on the next, so this is how I would look at this. I need this to get up higher. I'm willing to buy it higher. Go higher, then pull back, and then I'll look to enter here. Prove to me it's going to go higher, right? So that's when you get the big shot. It's not happening here. This suckered everybody in. They are like, oh, let's get in this. And it got up there, and sure, it did push, but then it failed. And now a lot of people are suffering and in pain, hoping it comes back. But their 50 is still, sometimes you can take those. Those are aggressive, but the 50 is still above the moving averages. So, all right, I'll be right back. 5 seconds. And I'm back. All right, Mike, if you're in here, message me. Let me know that you're in here. Just realizing my volume's not on my phone. There we go. Okay. Where are we here? Live streaming. Not really sure what's going on. I know I messed up with the links, so not enough people getting in here probably, but if I sent out that other link, I think that other link should have worked. All right. Continue. Not interested in Netflix at this time. T-Mobile. Whew, look at that. Let's get rid of this overnight session. Information now. Don't need that. 50 moving average on that weekly is really kicking butt. But this is a great stock, and it's getting a nice pullback. And I will look for a long eventually on that one. Nike. Why do I feel like I looked at Nike already? I was in a long and I got out of the long. I guess I could get rid of those now. So Nike looks like it's setting up again. Look at that. So what do we have here? Let's analyze this. We have a pullback to an 8 moving average, confluencing with the 50 on an hourly. Perfect. Broke back up above. It's not yet showing that it's going to hold though. It's kind of poked up and failing a little bit. So maybe it's going to do a double leg retracement. We'll see. We'll just give that a bit more time. Let's look at Merck. Oops, Merck. Nope, that's not Merck. Clicked on the wrong one. Merck. Merck looks good. Merck looks strong. Love it. MRK. R. Merck. So is there a setup? An hourly chart would say yes. The daily chart would say no way. We're too far away from the moving averages. We're holding on that 3, but it's just too far away for me. All right, let's move to Intel. Nice. Now this is the setup I'd like to see. Okay, so Intel, well, currently downtrend, so we got to put that up there. Got to make note of that on a weekly. Set up a channel. Weekly downtrend. Once again, trend lines kicking butt. It's near the high of the range, so you know what? I'm going to skip everything I just said. Pepsi. Right, Pepsi. Interesting. Hey, I just got a message. All right, sorry. All right, let me just fix this again. More technical. Here we go. Let's go to here. Oh, jeez. Well, I think it works. I guess I'll find out in a second. All right. Crap. All right. Just gonna mute this for a second here as I work on this issue. Sec. Now it's got a bit of a delay, so I just unmuted it. You're going to hear it on your side in about, I don't know how long actually. Let me know when you start hearing my voice. You see a mouse moving around. It's probably going to take 20, 30 seconds. I had it down to 3 and then the latency jumped back for some reason. I don't know why. It should be showing up on that screen. It should say Pepsi on 4 charts. Okay. And you clicked that window where it says 2020 12/9 stream live test. You click that one? How come it's coming up live for me? When I click on it with my other computer, it comes up as a live screen test. You don't press play, right? It should say on the very top one, it should say live in the corner of the window. Just click where it says live. Click that little red live thing. Red. Okay, so are you looking at 4 charts? Yeah, 4 charts. Okay, now it should be 1 chart. It's going to take a bit to change over, probably 20 or 30 seconds. And it should, I don't know what hear me go means. What does that mean? Yeah, crude oil. Should say CL in the top. Yeah, okay, so it's working. All right, so the next test is, can you hear my voice? All right, that was pretty quick too. All right, good. All right, good. All right, so I'll get off the phone now. All right, so welcome, Mikey. I feel like such a novice. I feel like such a newbie on this stuff, figuring this stuff out. All right, so just really quickly, numbers came out today, jobless numbers, CPI, inflation up slightly, but the real big news right here is wow, initial jobless claims jumped dramatically. Continuing jobless claims, where's continuing jobless claims, is higher dramatically. And this is December before Christmas. So usually this is when jobless numbers are the best because more people are working, even temporary work. Apparently not this year. So that's a really bad sign. Um, gas inventory coming out, natural gas in 6 minutes. Um, where are we here? Let me just pull this up. Okay, I'm not muted. Everything looks like it's working on my side. Hey, I see Mikey DeCoon is in the room. Hey, Michael, welcome. All right, yeah, sorry about the challenges this morning. I'm needing to figure. You could type stuff in the chat, by the way, if you want to. Ah, awesome. You're not novice. I'm novice at this tech stuff. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the kind words. All right. Okay. So far, anyways, we had a short. I had a short in oil earlier this morning. A couple contracts. I didn't do a whole lot since, but that was about 330. And then where am I here? Canadian dollar. I took a long in the CAD, which embarrassingly I got out with $95, but I wasn't aware that the Forex, I didn't have Forex Factory open, and the news on Forex Factory was the euro was coming out with their inventory with their Fed fund rate number, basically central bank number, and that created a monster rally, and it just kept going and going, and I wasn't even paying attention. My targets were hit, and I was out with the 3 to 1. It was a very small risk, very small. It's not very volatile, this asset, but today it is incredibly volatile. You can see what normal price action looks like on Canadian dollar. It's not incredibly volatile. And then today, boom. So that's Canadian dollar. Aside from that, been looking at a few different things. Got this level here on the S&P, which has actually held a couple times, but didn't take it because of the low volume in the creation of this level. Doesn't look like very good right there, does it? Put it on a 30-minute chart, looks a little bit more obvious. I would probably argue that the market's moving more because of the 30-minute 50 moving average than it is because of that level. That level's pretty lame. Um, so there's the level on a 15. And okay, so um, missed all the good stuff already. Maybe this will be recorded with YouTube. I'm not certain. Gold just rocking. Came up into that trend line, which has been drawn out from some time now, and had a big sell-off from there. Now there is a very good hourly level here on gold, and now just looking at this thing on a 15-minute chart, realizing that that zone's already been nailed. So, I mean, that just blew the wind out of my sails. I'm not so confident on that level anymore. Perhaps this level up here will be better. Anyway, all right, so this may be the better level. But again, that could be this level on level right here, which is very wide. These are 30 tick levels, or $300 per contract levels. So if I get this down to a 15-minute, I'll have a confluencing moving average on the 50 right there too. So I can move that alert up a little bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Still getting used to this new chart computer setup right here. Keep an eye on the chat. If you guys typing in. Interesting. Not sure why I'm not seeing the chat right there. Let me pull that back up. I know, gold's nuts. So let's just move this right there. There we go. Yeah, gold is crazy right now. That's a perfect setup. I mean, I love that setup. I really do. The currencies are being crazy right now, and they're having such a huge influence on the commodity markets, even the precious metal markets. They have a very big influence on those markets. And so it's a little bit dangerous taking setups um, when you have such a high influence of other markets right now. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's see if we get a deeper pullback. Maybe we can get into that one. Copper. Copper's kind of gone stagnant. It's holding that moving average nicely this morning off that initial push, which again, everything came down to that. This was the open on copper, but everything came down to that move in the dollar that's really created this incredible move in the other commodity asset classes. I'll tell you though, right? This demand This buy level right here was phenomenal. Would have been a nice setup. Never got as far as we were hoping for the sell setup, but that's okay. All right, so not much else to look at. Keep an eye on gold. So we'll put gold back up there. All right, so another one was Coca-Cola. I'll come back to Pepsi in a second. Bought some long calls on Coke this morning, and it's a little push against, not a big deal yet. Got a long ways to go before this becomes an invalid trade. Um, it is a nice setup though. That nice push up, that nice hook back, and then this rally. Now, ideally, you need to get above that 53.87 to be confirmed, and it's not there yet, so maybe it's going to consolidate a little bit more. That's okay. So that's an open position right now. Got a couple open positions from prior. The other one we were just looking at was Pepsi, right here. Whoops. Wow, my Thinkorswim just crashed. That is odd. Distractions. Now an alert just went off. What was that alert from? Wow. Oh, natural gas inventory numbers just came out. Of course, Thinkorswim would crash. Thinkorswim's like, it crashes quite often. Okay, so natural gas inventory numbers just came out. Obviously, insane move, and that would be a gap. So there's no tradable move right there. Um, Zones mean nothing when inventory numbers come out. They're irrelevant. This move. Whoa, what is that number? Let's take a peek at that number. So a draw of 83 billion was the expectation. And the actual number is, drum roll please, usually it pops up here. I'm running a lot of new software on this computer, so things are a little bit weird. Let's check if Forex Factory has it then. Natural gas storage, still haven't shown it. 91, so a draw of 91 billion. All right. Yeah, I think Thinkorswim crashed on me as well. See if we can get that booted back up. I got another alert going off here. Natural gas is still rocking. You know, when this kind of stuff happens, I always sit on the sidelines and I'm like, oh, why am I not buying it? And people that don't know what the heck they're doing, they're like, oh, it's going up, and they jump in and they make money, and I don't. And it's okay because too often I've chased it and then boom, get stuck in that next major whipsaw to the downside. So I'm all right with that. But I gotta see, what was the other alert that went off here? Gold, I guess? No, not gold. Wait a second. Interesting. Oh, I see. I set that alert on this chart. I didn't set it on my other charts. Okay. So the gold alert is currently going off. It's coming into that level with a lot of fervor, a lot of power to the downside. And sometimes it's like stepping in front of a moving train. You don't want to buy until it starts to show that there's other buyers. You don't want to be the first guy to pull the trigger. And now we're starting to see other buyers coming in. That 50 moving average may be active. We're inverted on the 8 and the 21 moving averages right now, which means it's still technically set up for a bullish signal. The 15, which we're not looking at right here, so let's pull the 15 up. The candle open end is below the 8 and the 21 moving average, which is a bearish signal. Um, We're not there yet though. It still looks like it's got some downside pressure to go. And once again, as we talked about earlier, look at that 1 minute chart. Trading that 1 minute moving average on this once again looks pretty darn good. You got to pay attention to the small moving averages sometimes, and small charts, especially when you're, trading for short-term profits. Okay, so can't you just switch to interactive brokers having problems with Thinkorswim? Things crash because I'm running so much different software here. I'm not used to it. I've got a bunch of different programs running to get this thing broadcasted. Um, there's going to be some hiccups, and so I'm back in. Thinkorswim's back up. It's fine. Just a little bit of a hiccup there. I'm going to let me just get rid of this real quick here. Clear drawing set. There we go. Yeah, so it's fine. Um, it's right here if I want it. It's right there. But right now I am more interested in taking a peek at this gold setup. See, one's down, 5 is down below the 50. Expect a retracement. 15 above the 50. So we're pinched. What that means is we have no confluencing information. Everything's contradicting itself. And that just makes it a bit more challenging, you know, to make good decisions. It also leaves right behind us here a level of sellers on the chart right at this level here. This is on a 5 minute I'm looking at. And so there is now sellers and buyers, and we need to know what's more active, moving averages or zones. If I'm not talking, I'm just trying to think here. There's absolutely, all right, I'll give it a little bit of time here. All right. Um, Whenever I feel in doubt, I just basically say, don't trade it, don't take the trade. Let's take a look around. All right, so we can see these moving averages. The 2150 confluence is holding on the S&P futures, the ES futures, and looks like a nice move off of that tiny little level, which has no volume in it. Interesting. Again, I'm between moving averages. I'm just looking at all the time frames on my other screen here. If you look at the 15, between the moving averages, bearish. 5, well, back above moving averages, bullish. 30, between moving averages, bearish. 60, between moving averages, bearish. Yeah. Not gas pulling back yet? Oh, wow. Still going. That's that nice rounded bottom on a 240 minute. Look at that. Nice rounded bottom play. Still in a bearish setup. It's below that 50, but it looks like it's setting up for another turnaround. Right there. Oops. 15 minutes, 5 minutes. There we go. Come on, gold. What are you going to do? You're in the zone, but that doesn't mean a whole lot because there's zones on zones. $60-minute zone right here. Let's get rid of this one. Click. Erase this drawing. Let's get rid of this one. Erase drawing. Let's redraw this. All right, so there we go. This is the 60-minute zone. Again, low volume. Well, 5 a.m. This is like 4 a.m. Looks like it's gonna. What's it gonna do here? Sometimes trading is waiting, trying to wait for that ideal scenario where you can get that edge one way or another. Remember, anytime you push the button buy or sell, it's 50-50. It either goes up or it goes down, one or the other. And if we can buy in an area where we have a higher probability of it going up because there's obviously some supporting factors, and that would increase the probability of the trade working in your favor. But the challenge is how much risk do you need to take to be able to, you know, see that through fruition. And many times, a trader can call the direction correctly and say, yeah, I think it's going to turn and go back up from here, at least somewhat. But in the meantime, it may push too low that they get stopped out in the process of waiting for it to go back up. And they get stopped out only to see it go up and do exactly what it was supposed to do. Well, in those scenarios, that's where the pain comes in. So that's why you got to be extra careful. Um, you know, waiting for a confirmation move or letting it get to an extreme level where it's very overextended and there's just going to be a straight up rebound. And you would have expected that with natural gas, but of course, natural gas is currently moving based on a economic factor, inventory number. So that's a fundamental change in gas and gas value. There's a lot of a draw. People are, it's cold. People are using natural gas to heat their homes. So in a situation like this, or like gold, I should say, where it's pulled back to a level which fits the criteria on the chart as a buying level, a level to buy, um, you need to have more than just that. That's just not enough. There's got to be more reason. So, is it stretched enough? Let's go to a 15-minute chart. Right now, looking pretty stretched. There's a 50 moving average there. That's another supporting factor. That supports. If we go to the 240-minute, 240-minute chart, it's telling us it should be going down, not up. Where's my 50 on there? Hmm. Just check something. Oh, I don't have enough data on this chart to do that. Let's change this quick. One sec. Whoops. I need to know where my 50 is. Need more than 10 days. Let's go 30. There's my 50. So there we go. We're bouncing off that 50. Let's change that again to 60. All right. So on the 240, we're bouncing off at 50, and that's part of the supporting reason. So you start working your way through these different time frames, and you kind of build a picture as to what's happening and why. Right now, this trade's taking place on a 1 minute. Oh, bloody hell. Just one sec. There we go. I'm getting used to this different computer. I've moved this charting package to. So right now, this trade is taking place on a 1 minute. right there, holding under those moving averages, and on a 15-minute, bouncing off the 50. Damn it, I missed it. Anyways, what's my risk here? Let's do some math. 41.8 to 43. 10, basically 10 pips, 10 ticks of risk. So that was the first initial bounce. We haven't made a higher high yet on a 1 minute, but that is the first initial bounce. I wanted to pick it up as it came down here. I should have put a limit order in. Don't generally use limit orders for these ones, but um, damn it. So I kind of got messed up in the lesson. That's all right. That happens. Why is this chart not showing my lines? 7? Strange. Having a little technical issue with this charting package still. Got to work out some of the bugs. I just moved it to this computer and it takes a lot to set this thing up. All right, so let's see what happens on retracement. Just 1 second. Somebody just walked in my room. Hello. Just 1 sec. Let's mute this. Be right back. Sorry about that. A family intervention right there. Okay, I'd wait on that one. Um, that's what throws me off about trading is 50-50 chance. You can have all or nothing 50-50 odds, or I'd be full-time trader. Yeah, it's all about just kind of weighing out the odds. So this scenario, you're conflicted. You got your moving averages above, you got moving averages below. Um, if I go through all the different time frames, there's more things saying it should go down than go up. But once it goes down low enough, it will go up. It will always go back up, right? Once it stretches far enough, it'll always retrace. And that's kind of what this trade is. This isn't really a trend trade because the moment price broke below this level right here, right, at least in the 5 minute, this trend reversed. Or not reversed, it's broken. That's why up here, there's a 5 minute level, not on this chart, but there's a 5 minute level that would make for a trend reversal if that held. So there is no setup just yet. Still waiting to see if this will go lower. There's my level. Oh, that's why I wasn't seeing it on that chart. Okay. All right, so don't need to spend all day on gold. I'm supposed to be doing some options setups right now. But again, as I mentioned earlier, it's Friday, and on Fridays, I'm not all super keen on putting on a bunch of options trades because typically, a lot of times Fridays pull back, and especially if it's had a rally last few days or so, um, the Fridays can be a pullback day. How's Coke doing? Yeah, Coke's pulling back a little bit. There you go. Key holding FLIR. I've already got it in that one. Okay, let's just do a little bit of option scanning right now. Waiting for gold. Gold is just kind of doing its thing. I could set an alert up here for gold to see if it gets down to this level. Again, this level looks really good. Um, on the hourly, but this on a 15 minute, on 5 minute, 15 minute here, you can see that it actually retraced back into that zone. So this is a zone with a pop out and a retracement back in, and then it rallied. So there may be less orders in here. Let's go back to a 5. Yeah, we're fully below the moving averages now. All right, okay, let's go back to looking at some trades on the option side. Now, Pepsi was one that we were looking at. I like the setup on Pepsi. It's chopping up that line. Weekly chart, Pepsi's at all-time highs. It's crazy. I'm going to write this one on my list for a long. Let's go to Costco or Cisco. Cisco Systems. Downtrend on a weekly, uptrend on a daily. And holding above that 8 moving average, pretty nice. Pretty nice. I'm more interested in the daily than I am the weekly. There is no setup right now on that. ExxonMobil. Wow. Well, of course, it's an oil proxy, so it's going to be going up, and it's too high for me. Oracle. So Oracle's had a nice pullback into that moving average area. It's kind of like its opportunity was yesterday to enter, and it's now right back at that level. It's not really following through on the breakout. I'll put this on the list for further analysis. So I'm just scanning through really quickly through the list here. QCOM. QCOM looks great. Nice. Looking for follow through on QCOM. Costco. Costco. Yeah, Costco. Not interested yet. BHP Group. Wow, look at that. Too far, too fast. McDonald's failing, fully failing. This looks interesting. Metatronics, PLC. This long consolidation area here. It's been doing this for a while. It's up near its highs, unfortunately, but look at that week close. That candle closed on the weekly. If it closes where it's at today, that's a beautiful candle. And this has been consolidating for a long time. How much is that? 113. Stop. Gonna need a couple dollars of risk in this trade setup. Now it's back up above. I want to take a look at this closer. So let's take a look at some options here. All right, so MDT. So MDT, let's go to the March, which is 99 days till expiration. We could go to the May. Let's see which one has more open interests, March or May. The May, the spread on the May at the money 115 is a buck 25 on a 6 to 730, $6 to 730 option, which is just, that's too wide of a spread. On the 115 March contract with 99 days till expiration, you have a $4.85 to 525, which is 40 cents spread. That's roughly 10%, just under 10%, which is acceptable. But that's still a pretty wide spread. I don't know why it's so wide. It's got high open interest. It's big spread though. All right, so what we're going to do here, can I pull this up without advertising my account number? Yes, I can. What we're going to do here is going to go through a lesson in charting premium. So we're looking at MDT right now, and I'm going to take this thing here, save this grid, MDT. I'm going to go to chart. Actually, wait, I don't even have to do it there. I could do it right here. Just do an hourly. Okay. All right. So actually, I was going to go through the whole process of doing it on Thinkorswim. It's a little bit more complex. Whereas on interactive brokers, let me just make sure here. Whereas on interactive brokers, I can actually just right click on the options contract I'm looking at and then create new chart. And what it does is it plots out the options um, contract price for me. So each one of these little dots is a transaction. How many contracts? Not so relevant. It is a transaction that occurred. So what we're looking at right now is it's trading at around $5 for this contract. This contract right here, about $5. And it's been as low as $3.80. And that was yesterday. And the day before that, it was in and around 495. The day before that, it was around 532. And then if you look back a week, it was up as high as 645 for this exact same contract. Okay. So what that tells me is at $4 and at $5, it's you're paying too much. That's what it tells me. Within the past few days, it's been as low as 380 and as high as 531. And it's at 518, 5. So if I was to enter this trade in this type of setup right now, I'd put my options order in at maybe 430, give myself 2/3 of the range, maybe 420, and let's hope it comes back down and gives me an entry opportunity. So maybe at around 420, if I want to take this trade, because I know I got a couple dollars of risk, the 115, if I go buy, and I know you guys can't see it, but that's because this is showing my account. I'm going to go buy, and I'm going to set this up to buy at a price of $4.20. Right there. Maybe 430 actually. Say 430. Right there. And I'm going to set that good till cancel. All right, now 430 means I'll put a horizontal line on here for you. Or an arrow. Right around here would be the fill. For that to happen, price is going to have to do what? It's going to have to pull back. Well, where are we sitting right now? Yesterday it was 430. Earlier today it was 430. So that means somewhere in this price range, if it gets back to this 112 area at some point, which it could, that would be the entry point. So I'll get in at a lower price. If it just continues going up, I may not get in at all, but at least I didn't buy it as it was at its high, because it's kind of high in price right now relative to where it's been the last few days. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set that order up right now. This is going to be a limit buy order. Submit this order. Screen print everything always. So put this order out there. Transmit. MDT. So again, this is not going to fill anytime soon, or might fill sometime later today. But that order is likely going to fill at around this price level. So I'm going to screen print, put it in my journal, document it, but I'm not going to send it out to anybody because technically it's not a filled order, it's just a limit. It may not fill. And depending on what happens, oh, today's not Friday, it's Thursday. Yeah. Depending on what happens, um, this may or may not fill. Let's take a look at the chat here. I used to close on Fridays. You know, Mike, I do close a lot of trades on Friday. I closed a lot of trades earlier this week because with that crash that happened on Interactive Brokers on Monday, it kind of screwed me up where I had a lot of profit in some trades, and then by the end of it, they were the next day they were down. So I got out just to bring myself to break even on a lot of those, and I'm not carrying a lot of positions this week. I can barely see it. You're watching this on your phone? Do you have an extra screen for your computer yet, Mike? It's not. You don't like Costco because you lose every trade you take on Costco. It's got nothing to do with Costco. It's got to do with the trade, buddy. No offense. All right, what do we got? We got an alert going off here. I don't even know where it is. What alert is going off? All right, so gold came down. That look at that 1 minute chart on gold, man. Wow, nuts. 1 minute's just rocking it, right? Plowing it through these little zones. Oops. Let's get rid of this. Nothing relevant now. I'm still getting things beeping here, and I'm not really sure what it is. Oh, there it is right there. Set up on there, that's why. All right. Looks like gold just wants to come down. Bear with me, we're still awake. Lots. Oh, no problem, buddy. It's all right. Don't worry, buddy. I've got that feeling about lots of different products out there that I've traded in the past. But again, it's there's some products that are just more volatile. Costco's. I mean, let's take a look at Costco. Yeah, it gets through nice rallies and ends in big drops. You just got to kind of time those entries, right? Yeah, manage your risk. Earnings is coming on Costco. Whoa, I didn't check on earnings on MDT. Okay, passed. Let's take a look at Dow. No earnings key. No, I'm good. Okay. All right. Scan Texas Instrument. Wow, it's a nice setup, but look at this chart here. TN. So there's an aggressive setup right now in Texas Instrument. So TXN. And what does that mean, aggressive? I've got lots of screens going, guys. So if I pause, I'm just taking a gander at what's going on the other screens here. I don't have my glasses on. No wonder why my eyes are sore. All right, looks like gold's about to reverse. Give that another few candles. Um, it's right in a buy zone. Like, I mean, it's right there. $1.62. It's a couple bucks off the low. Looks like that would be a buy. It's not set up on the hourly yet, though. This is an aggressive entry. Like I said, Buying it before while it's still showing a downtrend on the hourly is not good. Waiting for it to get back up above and show the confirmation, that's a better entry or more confirmation entry. So if ever doing aggressive entries, my rule of thumb is typically I'll buy a partial position, quarter or a half position, because there's still a lot of risk. It could go lower. And then if it turns around and it picks back up and it gets back above the moving averages, I can add to it. And if it gets above the 8 here and it's looking like it's setting up to go higher, I can add to that position as well. But that does look great. I just don't want to open a bunch of places, a bunch of positions right at the end of the week. Give that one a day. Let's start next to it. Yes, I'm getting old, buddy. It's a bit of a delay, obviously, in our chat. Honeywell, this is looking great. Jeez, that's great. Let's take a look at NEE, UPS, UNP, Union Pacific, consolidating. I got a lot of stuff looking bearish here. Boeing, God, they get one plane out of their factory and the stock's going through the roof. Hmm. $230 a share. Yeah, it's not bad. I can't take this one. Take a look. Looks great. Chart pattern's perfect. Trading at 235. A proper stop loss. I mean, it's just too much risk. That's out of my range, out of my league. PM. Wow, look at that on the hourly chart. PM. Philip Morris. Nuts. Starbucks. Big gap up today. Interesting. Wells Fargo. Looks sharp. No, I mean the S&P's pulled back, so a lot of things are pulled back. Kind of looking at, when I see a lot of things looking bearish, which, some are, some aren't, in this basket that I have here of stocks. um, it just means that I got to be more careful on my long positions, not necessarily initiate a bunch of new long positions just in case. Close that down. Natural gas inventory, just a second, got alarm there, alert going off, good. That's basically it. So just kind of like, heads up, like, hey, be careful. I know, eh? PM looks great. And I like this one too, but I don't like that 50 moving average above. So again, not going to take that risk. Now, let's quickly take a look at this. Gold is setting up like it's going to go long. But here's the problem with this counter trend. There's now all these moving averages which are plowing down towards price, and they're all going to serve as obstacles to price. So counter trend trades like this can be more of a challenge. It might work. but you know, they have a lot of obstacles to get through. Let's do a quick look here. That level is still holding on the S&P. Gold, that little buy area is actually buy level there is starting to hold. Copper, just flat. Natural gas looks like or oil's starting to tire on its rally. Look at how far it went though. Jeez, $46.50, basically $2 on that rally. Insane. Just kept going up. That 1 minute chart should have just traded that 1 minute chart. Oh, sorry, pointing at the wrong one. Should have just traded that 1 minute chart. Look at that. Held that 8 moving average the whole time. Natural gas, basically same thing. The market's getting tired now. Euro's coming back down. Missed that. That would have been a trade setup right there. Canadian dollar still holding. Okay. All right. 810. God, I'm starving. Let's take a look here. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'll be right back. I think gold's going to reverse here. I think it's going to go up. Or it's going to go sideways till the moving averages catch up. There's too many obstacles overhead. And it's too late in the morning to be entering a new futures trade. What was that? Okay. All right. What do we got here, Mike? You finding anything, Mike? Seeing anything interesting? If there's anything you want me to look at, feel free to type it in. Wow, that's crappy little level held twice. I would not have expected that. Strange. Okay, let's go back to scanning through this list here. Still got like not even halfway yet. Lows. Okay, so I'm going to get through these quicker. Nope. J&J, let's take a look at J&J. All right, so yeah, so it's so J and J right here. This is, if it's taken a while for me to answer, it's because of the lag. Uh, I had the latency level down to 3 seconds earlier, and then for some reason it jumped up to 25 or 30 seconds, which is the delay between the time you type something in and I see it, or time I say something and you hear it. So, um, bit of a challenge. Oh, wait, yeah, the mic's on. You should be able to hear me. It's just a delay. Anyways, looking at J and J, here's the obstacles overhead. It's creating a nice inverse head and shoulders, as you can see right here. And you can see, yep, yeah, the delay's pretty bad. So let's do a second here. I'm going to call you real quick. Going to run a test. A bit of a delay, eh? Bit of a delay. Okay. Do me a favor and just type something in the chat and tell me when you do it. So I'm going to time how long it takes for me to see it. Yep, I'm listening to you. All right. Wow, I got that instantly. It's possible. I'm looking at charts. Okay, let's do an audio test. So, oh, I just see. Did you type test twice? Okay. Okay, so let's do an audio test. So I'm gonna say something on the phone, and I want you to tell me how long it takes before you hear it on your side. Okay, so test one, two, three. Test one, two, three. Did you hear it? All right. Okay. Well, what I'll do, I'm gonna wrap this up then until I figure out these latency issues. Yeah, wow, okay. So huge delay. All right, okay, buddy. I'll let you go. You go take care of the kids and I'll figure this latency issue out here. All right, so it seems this delay is just gotten progressively worse by the sounds of it. So I'm just going to wrap this thing up. I don't know if it's being recorded or not. Kind of worked out as a bit of a mess, but let's see. Maybe the next time will be better. Let's give that a shot. So how do I stop this thing? End stream.